Hello there. So with my older videos, I was just really documenting my journey and documenting what I was doing, but I kind of realised I wasn't actually sharing all that much about who I am. And so with my last few videos, I've been kind of wanting to share more about me, so you know a bit more about me. So in this video, I thought I would do 11 things that you don't know about me. I know the general number's 10, 10's a bit more catchy, but I did come up with 10, but then last minute I thought of another one, so we've got 11. So let's get started. Number 1. I was on TV's Location. This was some years ago. It was against my will. My mum was trying to sell her house at the time, and there was an email going around her work asking, they were looking to film in the area in Carlisle, and they were looking for people to be in the show. So my mum got really excited and applied, and unfortunately we got picked. Yeah, both me and my sister both didn't want to do it, but my mum really did want to do it and was really excited by the whole thing. So we ended up doing it. I remember the day before they'd done a lot of the filming, I went out with some of my friends, got drunk, because I was at college then, so I was going out getting drunk quite a lot. And yeah, so when they actually filmed a lot of it, I was pretty hungover.
Our first house hunter wants to downsize in Carlisle.
Sheila and 19-year-old daughter Sarah both work at a hospital in town, and 20-year-old Chris is a student.
So yeah, not the best thing being hungover for national TV, but hey ho. Yeah, another thing that I had actually, because I was at college at this point, I had actually moved out already, so I wasn't living with my mum anymore. But despite that, throughout the whole show, they kind of made me a focus of the program, and the kind of houses that they were looking for. They kept stressing, "Oh, we need a place for Chris. We need a place for Chris," because they were showing my mum a lot of like 2-bedroom houses, and they were like, "Oh, where's Chris gonna stay? Where's Chris gonna stay?" And they kept making these cheesy jokes throughout the whole episode.
Do you think you could have an arrangement which would be okay for Chris?
Yeah, there's a big cupboard there.
Now, the thing is, Sheila, bunk beds is what I thought.
Oh, no!
No, seriously?
Somehow I think they're a wee bit too old.
You've lost a reception room, but you've gained
Yeah.
kitchen diner.
Chris will have to sleep on the table, or under the table with the dog.
What a turn-up. Sheila is so overwhelmed by this place, she's demoted poor Chris to the dog basket.
And I remember, because I didn't know about this until it got aired and I watched it, I remember like, what is going on here? I've already moved out. And yeah, I was very cringeworthy. I could probably make a whole video just talking about this, but I'm not going to because it's quite embarrassing. But yeah, the idea of the show, our episode was actually a pilot episode for a new spin-off series they were thinking of creating, where the idea was to go to people who were struggling to sell their house, which my mum was, and then they would kind of go through everything, why they're not selling their house, fix all those things, and then help them sell the house. And then the second part of the show would be just the usual, helping that person to then buy a house. But it didn't work because they were showing my mum houses, but she hadn't yet sold her house, so she couldn't put an offer on any of the houses that they were showing her because she wasn't in a position to, and the gap in between my mum selling her house and being able to buy a house of her own was like huge. So anyway, it just didn't work. So they re-edited it, and it finally went out years later as just a regular episode of location. So it was years after they actually filmed it that it finally went out on TV. But the thing that I was very, very pleased about is that the first part of the episode didn't go out, that got scrapped, which I was very pleased about, because that first part was going through everything that was wrong about our house and reasons why it wasn't selling. And one of the reasons why our house wasn't selling, because this takes me on to number 2. I used to be obsessed with Alba Levine. I had like a really big sort of I want to say teenage crush on her. I think I was still just a teenager, but probably older than what I should have been to have that kind of crush on. Anyway, never mind. So yeah, my bedroom at the time was kind of covered in Alba Levine posters, which I guess is kind of off-putting for people who are wanting to buy a house and they go into a room and all they see is pictures of Alba Levine. So I was very, very pleased that part didn't go out on national TV. I was absolutely dreading that. But yet, I've now shared this with you. I don't know why I did that. So yeah, anyway, when they filmed that initial part of the programme, I was still living with my mum, but then I started college, moved out, and then when they were filming the part where they were showing my mum around houses, I'd moved out by then, but yet for some reason they still made a point as though I needed a place to live with her. Anyway. Number 3. My other big passion in life outside of photography is snowboarding. I absolutely love snowboarding. I think it's like the most fun you can have. I love being in the mountains. I love the snow. I love just the views you get from being atop of the mountains, and the kind of like peace that you get up there, the sense of freedom from being in the mountains and then sliding down them. Yeah, when I'm sliding down my snowboard, when I'm sliding down the mountain on my snowboard, I do feel totally free, and it's just nothing but fun and adrenaline. I didn't say I was particularly good at it, but you know, I love it. Number 4. I do not trust dogs. Ever since becoming a postman, I do not trust dogs. I'm very wary of them. People think it's a joke. That's, you know, something you only see in like Dennis the Menace and cartoons and things, where the dog chases the postman. Let me tell you, it is 100% true. It's not a joke. It happens. Fortunately, I've never been bit myself, but I've had several very close calls, and I know several people who have been bit by dogs. But yeah, I've certainly had them chase me and go to bite me, but I've just kind of reacted quickly enough so that they just missed me. So yeah, even now, if I see like a loose dog on the street, I'm like, whoa, let's try and keep away from that dog. Certainly if you're in a postal uniform, that's like, it's like a red flag to a bull. No flag? It's not a flag, is it? Red? Whatever. Number 5, however, I love cats. I think cats are like the greatest thing in the world, and I know a lot of people hate them, which I don't understand. A lot of people think they're selfish and have bad attitudes and things, but that is like ridiculous, I think. And cats are just so much fun, and I kind of like the fact that cats have, you know, a little bit of an attitude. It just makes them more interesting, I think, more fun, a bit quirky. Actually, I remember this one time, so when we used to have our own cat, and I remember this one time where it was sat on the arm of our sofa, and it was just sort of zoned out in its own little world, like sometimes cats get. And I noticed it, and I was stood up, and I just kind of slowly went along like that until I just touched it, and the cat absolutely freaked out and just jumped up and like absolutely shut up like a rocket. And the house we were living in at the time had like really high ceilings, and the the cat was like so close to hitting the ceiling, and somehow landed the complete other side of the room. I've never seen a cat jump up so much in my life. I don't even know how it was possible to jump up and land the complete other side of the room. It was one of the funniest things. But probably a bit harsh on the cat, but I did pick it up afterwards and stroked it, and it was fine. Number 6. Ever since the TV show 24 finished years ago, I have never watched any of these TV American dramas and box sets, and I've never watched The Wire, I've never watched Game of Thrones, not a single second of it. I've never watched Breaking Bad, any of these shows that people always go on about in general conversation and Facebook. I haven't seen any of them. I've got absolutely no interest in watching any of them. I've got no idea about them, and I don't want to be. No offense to, I'm sure most people watching this watches some of them, but I just don't want to be wasting my time getting addicted to some TV show. I guess because I'm so passionate about kind of what I'm doing here, I just spend all my time obviously on my photography. If it's not taking photos, then it's editing photos, working on my website, social media, writing blog posts, obviously doing these videos as well. And I love all of that so much that a TV show is taking up my time and taking time away from that. And I just love the photography and everything that I'm doing, trying to build this up. I just love that more, and I have no interest in watching any of these. So that's no offense again to anyone who watches those shows, but it's just not for me. And the only reason that I included that in these 11 things about me is because I feel like I'm the only person who's not watching like Game of Thrones right now. It's crazy. Number 7. I guess related to TV then, we'll go from TV to film. I think Lego Batman movie is the best film ever. I went to watch it at the cinema. Yes, I went to see it at the cinema with my friends. We don't have kids, whatever. But yeah, I just thought it was great, and I laughed throughout the whole thing. I've actually watched it again. I watched it on the plane back from Peru again, and it's just so great. I guess because I'm generally like a positive person, and I like to have fun, I like to laugh and make jokes, and life's just, about having fun and enjoying life. The main thing in life is to enjoy it and have fun, and that's kind of why I like the Lego Batman movie, because it's silly and it's good fun and it's a big laugh. And if you haven't seen it, you should watch the Lego Batman movie. Number 8. Another thing which brings me a whole lot of joy is cheesecake. I love cheesecake. Love it. What else can I say? I just love cheesecake. Number 9. I cannot stand bad music. Like, nothing in the world winds me up more than being forced to listen to bad music. I know everyone watching, there's always music that you don't like, but it just really grates on me. I remember when I was working at Royal Mail, when we were working in the office in the morning, sorting all the mail, we would have the radio playing, and most of the time we were listening to one of these stations that plays like all the old hits, like music from the 80s, and there's a lot of good music from the 80s, but unfortunately this radio station would play a lot of the bad music from the 80s, and it wasn't just the 80s, it was the 90s, but it was all very cheesy and all. I used to hate it. Like, to give you an example of what the thing is as well is, you know, music's been around for, like, it's not a new thing. Like, you got decades worth of music. There's millions of songs to pick from. Yet this radio station would play the same, like, maybe 6 songs just over and over and over again every single day. It's So an example of the kind of song they would play on a So an example of like the kind of song that they would play on a pretty daily basis would be like that one that goes, "I've had the time of my life." I cannot stand that song, and it just winds me up. So yeah, that's a reason for quitting my job just there. Number 10. So these next two actually are 2 things that you might know if you've watched all of my videos, but I'm gonna assume there's some people watching here who haven't watched them all. So number 10 is I used to be absolutely terrified of flying, to the point where I wouldn't even get excited about my holidays. The closer it got to me going away somewhere, the more nervous I would get. And it wasn't until I actually landed in the destination that I then got excited about the fact that I was on holiday. But because I loved travelling so much, I still done a lot of it. But I would always, when it came to me booking a place, I would always just focus on actually being there, experiencing the place, all the fun I would have. I wouldn't think about the flying part and having to get on the plane. I would just solely focus. Say I was booking to go to Madrid. I would just be, I really wanted to go to Madrid, so I just focus on being in Madrid and all the fun I would have there. So I'd book it. And then it wasn't until it actually came up and I was having to go that I'd be like, fuck, no, probably I shouldn't say the F word. And then it wasn't until it actually came up that I would then be like, shit, I've got to get on a plane, and then I'd start getting nervous, but I would just keep doing that, and like anything else, the more you do something, the easier it gets, and I just got more and more comfortable with it, and now it doesn't bother me at all. I actually quite enjoy flying, doesn't bother me one little bit. Obviously, if you have watched the video, then you'll know this, but I kind of put it to the test in Peru, where I went on a really light aircraft, very small plane, and I thought that would be the ultimate test to see if I was over my flying. If you haven't watched that video, then watch it. There's a link there, or there, somewhere. But yeah, it doesn't bother me at all now, so that's good. So yeah, what I want to say on this point is that if I know it's easy to say this, but you know, I've done it, but if you are afraid of something, just don't let it stop you, and just take action in spite of that fear. And the more that you do it, the easier that it'll get, and then eventually, like me, you just won't be scared of it anymore. So just don't let fear hold you back, basically. And finally, number 11. I was very harshly kicked out of college before entering my final year. Now again, if you've watched one of my early videos, you'll know this already, but it's kind of a big thing, I think, so I wanted to share it again for anyone who maybe hasn't watched that video. But yeah, basically, without going into the whole thing, because there is a video, I was made to do an extra module which didn't count towards my degree. It was irrelevant, basically, but that subject ended up being photography. I didn't complete the module because at the end of the year I thought it'd be important to focus on the work on my course, not on a subject that didn't count towards anything. So I thought it was a sensible decision to focus on the work that actually counted to my degree, and as a result they kicked me out of college. I'm still, if I'm being honest, I'm still quite bitter about it to this day, because I've got student debt that I'm still having to pay off even though I didn't complete the degree, and I think it was really harsh that to kick me off my degree because of a subject that didn't count towards anything. So yeah, I'm still quite bitter about it, and I think I was very harshly treated. But the good thing that came out of it was that, ironically, that is how I discovered my love and passion for photography. So something great did come out of it, and people say everything happens for a reason, and you might say everything happens for a reason. And up until that point I had been searching for the thing that I wanted to do with my life, and strangely enough that became the thing that I wanted to do with my life. So everything happens for a reason. So that's it. That's 11 things you perhaps didn't know about me but now do. So I hope that was interesting. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.